So let's first review the names of the white keys on the piano. So we have our dog house, here's another dog house. Our people house, here's another people house. Inside of our dog house is D, dog. Next to the dog house lives the cat. And on the other side of the dog house lives the elephant. So we have C, D, E. Here's our people house. We have the front door, which is on this side of the people house. We have the back door, which is on this side of the people house. We have grandma and her apples. So we have F for front, G for grandma, A for apples, B for back. F, G, A, B. And if we start over here on the left side of the doghouse, it just follows the alphabet. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then another C. Good. Let's review our finger numbers. Our thumbs are 1. Our second fingers are 2. Our large fingers are 3. Our ring fingers are 4. And our pinkies are 5. So let's take our thumbs, our first finger on our right hand, and let it rest on C. Remember, the side of our thumb is resting on C. I'm going to fan out the rest of my fingers so that they are nice and curved and relaxed. Remember, like we did with the knee warm-up, where we put our hands on our knees, we kept that shape, and we lifted it up and set it down on the keyboard, keeping that round knee shape in our hand. So here I have all 5 fingers fanned out. Each finger has a note. My thumb is resting on its side. My other fingers are resting on the top of my fingers, not this part, the very tippy top. So if you have long nails, it's very hard to play the piano. Okay, so I have my hands fanned out. So I'm going to practice flattening my fingers out and then curving them back in. Flattening them back out and curving them back in, always keeping them each on their own key. This is the technique you want, with a nice bridge here between the top of your hand and your arm. You don't want this to drop or for your wrist to hang over the side of the keyboard. So, lengthening out, stretching back in. Let's do the same thing. Let's put our left hand thumb on C as well and fan out our fingers. Stretching and gathering back in. Stretching, gathering back in. Last time. Stretching, gathering back in. Nice. So now we're going to work on a little bit of a wrist rotation. This is really the wrist and a little bit of the forearm too. It's not a giant rotation, it's just a tiny lilt. So I'm going to play each note going back up and moving back down. As I move from my thumb to my pinky, I'm going to have a little bit of turn in my wrist, and I'm really going to focus on keeping my fingers touching and resting on the keys as I play. So here we go. Turning my wrist just a little bit to support my pinky, keeping these fingers down and curved. Going back the other way. My wrist turns just a little bit to support the thumb as it's playing. Notice that my fingers aren't coming up off the keys as I play. So this is bad technique. Even like one pinky lifting is bad. So really work hard to keep these fingers resting on the top of the keys. And if you're using just a slight wrist rotation as you change fingers, leaning into whatever side is playing, that should help you keep your fingers resting on the keys in a nice, relaxed, rounded position. Let's try it again. moving just a little bit. Good, let's try our left hand. Thumb on middle C. Just a little rotation in the top of my hand and wrist. One more time. Can you try doing both hands, resting your thumbs on middle C to share middle C, and then fanning out the rest of your fingers? It'll look like this. Once again, there's just the slightest rotation in the top of my hand, my wrist, and my forearm as I move from the center to the outside pinkies and back into the thumb. I'm being very careful not to raise any extra fingers as I'm playing. If you find that you're starting to raise your fingers a little bit, slow down.